So this is the Canon 77D. It's Canon's latest mid-range DSLR, designed for people who don't need everything the 80D has to offer and also don't want the older specs of the 70D. I personally gravitated towards this camera because of the video specs. It shoots 1080 at 60 frames per second, which gives you that smooth slow motion and makes things look more cinematic. And 60 frames per second is pretty much standard by now. I noticed what Nikon had in the same price range and spec range, but I mean, that screen, like what are they thinking? Nobody wants that. So yeah, obviously Canon is catering toward a vlogging market with this flip out screen. My old Nikon had that, but pretty much every DSLR I feel like should have that. Even if you're not vlogging, if you're not filming yourself, the flip out screen is very useful for other things like shooting stuff that is too high or stuff that is too low to actually put your face to the camera. So already, two major pros of this camera is the flip out screen and the fact that it shoots 60 FPS. Another thing that the 77D brings to the table is the dual pixel autofocus. I have no idea what that means, but put simply, it means that it's very fast and it's good autofocus when left alone. Letting the camera film by itself, not doing anything, it does a pretty good job of guessing what you want in focus. I can't tell you how annoying it was to use the focus ring every time I wanted to change focus on my Nikon. Every camera comes with autofocus, but not all cameras do it well. So yeah, 77D does it well. You can also do the tap to focus to change focus on the touchscreen, which works pretty well. It also tracks the subject. So right now it's tracking my face. So if you get really close, it'll focus on my face, my pimple. For the video side of things, the Canon 77D checks out as far as autofocus. Now, when it comes to photos, that's when the autofocus gets kind of tricky. I've gotten so trained on how Nikon handles photo autofocus that that's really all I know, and that's what I was expecting going into this camera. Turns out that it's not all the same. The viewfinder display in this camera is nothing but a suggestion when a Nikon actually tries to focus on whatever the viewfinder display is pointing at. I know this because when you go from shooting with a viewfinder and you go to live view, it's focusing on whatever it thinks you need to focus on. It's only once you tap to focus that it actually changes what it needs to focus on. So that's kind of annoying and takes a little bit of getting used to. So the only real way to actually like for sure get what you want in focus is to go into live view mode, tap with your finger and take a picture that way, which will make you look like an idiot amongst your friends. And once looking at the photos, it's really nothing more than what my Nikon brought to the table. A lot of DSLRs are the same as far as photo quality. I am using the kit lens for this camera, so if I do put better glass in front of it in the future, my opinion may change. But for now, it's nothing better than my Nikon was. The 24 megapixels are good. Again, this is not really something that matters unless you're like printing your pictures out and hanging them on a wall. Anything above 8 megapixels is gonna look good on a phone screen, so that's all that I'm dealing with right now. But yeah, that's my thoughts, that's my review of the Canon 77D. If you are a vlogger and you're coming from a GoPro, an entry-level DSLR, or your phone, this is definitely a great step up into the more higher quality forms of vlogging. If you're going to buy this camera just for photos, then I can't really recommend it that much. I recommend getting, you know, a lower level like a T6i or a D5300 because it costs less and it produces the same quality of pictures. Less megapixels, yes, but if you're not printing them out, then skip this camera. But that's it. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this helped you make a decision on what camera you should get. But that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe if you want, and I'll see you guys later.